Lee, before we get into the game for the weekend, just want to get your overall view of what it's been an excellent sort of progressive last couple of weeks for the young players who've made a bit of, in the spotlight.
Yeah, it's been really nice to see the younger players on the pitch in a real competitive game. Also, you go back to Blackpool, we had younger players playing then. So it's been a really pleasing week on that sense, and pleasing for the club to be able to see hopefully what could be the next bunch. They've got a lot of work to do with that. They've got to keep on working hard. They performed well again last night in the Cheshire Senior Cup. One of them's gone on to sign a professional contract, which is extremely pleasing. So, in terms of what we look at from a football club, it's been a good couple of weeks.
All your thoughts now are trained towards the weekend. 4 points out of the last 6 that you've taken against predicted promotion favourites. You must be encouraged about what you've seen.
Yeah, we are encouraged, but we're not getting carried away. You know how quickly things can turn in this division. Said at the start of the season how even I think it's going to be, and the points total between the bottom of the league and the top of the league, is nothing really. So you've got to stay on your guard all the time. You've got to be prepared to do better than what you did yesterday if you want to keep on progressing in this league. But a pleasing start, but nothing we'll get carried away with.
Just looking at your next opponents who arrive in Salford, it's an interesting one. I think I've counted up right. I've counted 30 goals between the two teams in the 6 games that they've played each other. That seems as though it could be an expansive type of game and an open game. Is that something that might surprise you? 30 goals in 6 games, average of 5?
Not really. Cole sets his teams up to be expansive. If you look through what he's done, he's an excellent manager. He gets his teams to try and play football with the emphasis on scoring goals. Really aggressive in terms of what they do without the football. But that doesn't surprise me, because he sets his teams up to try and hurt oppositions, not to just nullify what the opposition are doing. So it doesn't really surprise me. And like I say, he's an excellent manager. And probably be looking to do the same on Saturday in terms of pressing us and then being able to hurt us in our goal.
You're going into the game, of course. 10 games are now completed. I think you've only conceded 10 goals as well. 5 of them, unfortunately, were in one game. But it does look as though you have got that steel in you now and harder to beat.
I think we had it anyway. When the 5-0 happens to you, you lose 2 games on the bounce. I'm not going to lie, it was difficult, really difficult. But you just look at the players we've got, the characters we've got, your Mickeys, your Jacks. Yes, he's not playing, but being around. Zach Williams is stepping up. Max Sanders, Ryan Cooney. The character we've got. Kane Emmons, Omar. The character we've got in the group. And look, it was a 5-0 hammering, and it was a canter really for them at the end. But you have to digest it and look at it. From a manager's perspective, it wasn't like we were getting carved open every time the opposition had it. They were avoidable goals. So the character, the group shone through again, which we're always on about, and being able to shut up shop from the back, and that's so important. Is it 6 clean sheets, I think now, and then we're looking to improve all the time going forward and be more expansive.
The one thing that you got out of your players last season was goals from all different positions, different areas. Last week, Max choked up with one and came into it and got his first one as well. That's something that you can see now, that you're encouraging your players to be brave and take risks around that penalty area, attacking positions. Yeah,
they always have to take risks. Obviously look for the things that we're looking for, but you've got to be a risk taker on the football pitch to make things happen. We want that spread of goals again coming from all areas, so we're not just reliant on certain bodies to score goals. We obviously had a forward last year who scored us a lot of goals, but we want that to come from everywhere. Set pieces included with that, but we just encourage the players. They can play with freedom when they get in the final third. Like I said, the best people in the world are risk takers, and that's what we ask them to do.
You wanted good home form as well. It was a little bit of a wobble, but you've got back, haven't you? And your home form is really exceptional at the moment. Again, another positive thought that's coming out of the team.
Yeah, it's better, obviously, than the follow-on from last year, which we were after that improvement. But it's not a given that we now turn up at home and you win. It's fuel for the opposition, knowing that we're in good form, particularly at home. who might work that little bit harder to try and nullify, so we've got to work harder than that. And I don't mean just running around and battling and tackling. I mean with your movements and your brightness that you're going to do, because we have to keep trying to improve. And when we have got such good home form, we want that to continue. But the opposition then know that, and they'll set up in certain ways to try and nullify it.
And just again, it's Thursday, so you know what we've got to ask you. How are you going with your injuries? Are you expecting a stronger squad to choose from this weekend?
We will see over the next couple of days, and that's what I'm hoping for. And I won't really know until tomorrow. I won't take any risks with anyone. With that, there's been umpteen meetings in the last 10 days, I can assure you, about what we're doing, what we're trying to do, and coming up with new plans for people, so there won't be any risk taking with that. Really pleasing to see Jack Powell out there early in the week. He was brilliant. I thought for the 15 minutes that he played, he was exceptional. And then he followed that with a training session, which he probably threw himself into more than he had been doing, because he's obviously got that trust within his knee from doing them 15 minutes. But he's a few weeks off yet in terms of being involved with the first team. But we're getting somewhere near, and then it's up to us to use the information as wisely as we can to try and keep everybody healthy.